So the heart doctor is going to love my monitor when he reads it, because I am taking my chicken bones that are left from my roasted chicken, and I am making a broth to save it. I'm just adding a little bit of chicken broth in to start it, an onion, some garlic, and I'm using my chef's knife from Pampered Chef to cut everything up. I'm going to put everything in a pot and just let it cook for a while. So I'm peeling the garlic. I'm not even going to cut them up because they're such little pieces. Adding them to the pot. Now I'm taking my Pampered Chef onion and citrus slicer, and it has a little hook on this end that you can use on your onion, and then this other little square helps too. So I take my thing and score it across my onion. I do it with my citrus too. And it makes it easier, and you have less tearing. Takes the cover off. It helps peel the cover off of the onion. It's one of the greatest things I've ever found. And on my citrus, I help with the little square or the little pointed part. It pulls the covering, the rind off. So now, as you can see, this coming off easier. Now you can score where it connects at the top. If you want to, you always can take the top pointed part or the very bottom flat part and soak it in water, and it'll grow a new onion. So now with my Pampered Chef knife, I cut off the one end, and it makes it easier for when you slice it. And since I scored it, it'll also make it easier. You always want to cut stuff the same size so they cook evenly. And I noticed if you cut it like this against the grain, you don't tear as much, or basically not at all. I notice if I cut like this, it releases that onion smell that makes your eyes go ballistic. If I wanted to, I could have cut the bottom of that with holding it with tongs. So now I'm going to finish cutting it into smaller pieces. Now my eyes are tearing. Now that the onion and garlic is in the bowl, I'm going to put a little bit of EVOO in the bottom and let it cook just a tiny bit until the onions become translucent and the garlic goes translucent, and then I can put my chicken bones in. My grandparents taught me how to make stock and soup from scratch from bones. And the bones are good because you bring out the marrow, and the marrow has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. As the onions and garlic are cooking, I'm putting a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. A pinch of parsley. I'm going to be careful I don't set off my heart monitor. I'm putting in a couple of bay leaves. This is almost done being translucent. Now I just have to pick the bones out and let the bones simmer for a while. So I'm going to add the neck in. Because as it's cooking down, the bones will add a lot of flavor. I'm going to pick up the rest of the meat, put the meat in last. So now all I'm adding in is the rib cage. I'm going to let that cook down. And with the onions and garlic and the spices, and I'm going to add a little bit of water in. I'm going to lower it to medium. Adding in a little bit of the broth. Just enough to coat the onions and garlic. And it's going to cook for a while. So since this has been cooking for a while, I'm going to add in the rest of the broth. And just let it finish cooking. So now I have to strain what's been cooking and separate it. And that makes the broth. And then I can add in the chicken if I wanted to. So I'm turning off the heat. Taking off the lid. Straining everything out. Looks like could go throw this out in the compost bin, but there's too many animals that live around. Bring this back into bowl. I'm actually going to let it cook a little bit longer, all by itself with no bones. And I'm going to add the chicken in.